Okay, so talking today then about language development in childhood. All right, so looking at vocabulary specifically, by age 6, a child will have acquired around 10,000 words. This is huge. So how does the child acquire these words? So children connect new words with their underlying concepts after only a brief encounter. So brief exposure to a word, and it's like they've learned it right away. And this process is called fast mapping. So looking at the particular types of words, children fast map labels for objects, especially quickly, because these objects are very concrete and they refer to concepts that are easy to perceive. Okay, so it's easy to see these objects, therefore it's easy to associate the name or the label for that object with the physical object itself. Verbs are the next thing that are added to their vocabulary repertoire, and then these are followed by modifiers, so things like adjectives and adverbs. In looking at these new words here, strategies for word learning, children often coin new words, especially if they don't know the particular word that they're looking for, and they often extend this by language meanings. They extend that by using things like metaphors. So strategies for word learning. In early vocab development, children may adopt what's called a mutual exclusivity bias, or this is the assumption that words refer to entirely separate and non-overlapping categories. So for example, a child might think that they have a father and only they have a father. No one else in the entire world can have a father. So they don't understand that that category can refer to anyone's dad, not just their own dad. In looking at how children learn these words, there are some individuals in the field who propose that preschoolers figure out many word meanings by observing how words are used in the structure of a sentence. So they basically look for cues in the sentence structure to tell them what a word means. And preschoolers' vocabularies grow much more quickly when they have access to social information. So when their parents provide information that clarifies exactly what words mean, when their parents provide that kind of support for them, they can learn much more quickly. So looking at basic rules in grammar, so children will add small additions to sentences to express meaning. So they'll basically follow the same kinds of strict rules even when they are not grammatically correct. So their first grammatical rule is piecemeal. So it's limited to oftentimes just a few verbs. And once children start to form 3-word sentences, they make small additions and changes to words. These are called grammatical markers that enable them to express meaning flexibly and also more efficiently. So you'll often see that young children, when they're starting to learn grammar, they make a lot of mistakes. So they might put an S on the end of everything to make it plural, even when it's not correct. So they might say, this is, I see mouses instead of I see mice. So they're adding that S on. That's a grammatical rule that they've learned to make things plural. Variations of the verb to be. So this is a tough one, right? I am, you are. Children have a difficult time, right, in forming the correct forms of that initially. Children also make an error called over-regularization, where they overextend the rules to words that are exceptions. So again, that can be, them applying those basic rules that they've learned. So for example, my niece, when she was learning grammatical rules, she would say to me, but I didn't know what that meaned. So she was regularizing here, where she was adding ed onto the end of something to make it past tense, even though that wasn't grammatically correct, right? So she should have said, I didn't know what that meant, but obviously forming the past of mean is a tough one, right? That's something that little kids can struggle with. Looking at the complex structure of language. So preschoolers gradually master more complex grammatical structures and are able to use most of the grammatical constructions of their language competently as the preschool year draws to a close. So with complex structures, children become better at complex forms of language, like asking a question. So that requires that they sometimes invert the structure of a sentence, using indirect objects, to whom, for whom. Those are more complex functions of language, and children become better at that. So looking at the pragmatics of language, so children become better in understanding the practical or the social side of language. So that's the pragmatics of language. They become better at learning to engage in effective and appropriate communication. So as early as age 2, kids can be really skilled at conversation, right? You can sit down and have an actual conversation with children at this age. By age 4, they learn to adjust their speech to fit the age, the sex, and the social status of the listener. So they understand that when they are speaking to someone who is in a position of authority, that they need to change the way that they are interacting with this particular person. There are, however, many challenging situations. So if you've ever tried to have, say, a telephone conversation with a 4-year-old child, this is a very difficult thing to do, right? A very challenging time here. I mean, if we look at this from Piaget's theory, Piaget would say that children don't have the ability to represent or to understand that very abstract idea that they're talking to someone through a device and there's an actual person on the other end of that phone. They don't have the ability to understand that, and so that's why telephone conversations are so difficult with very young children. How can we, though, support language development in early childhood? So conversational give and take with adults is consistently related to language process. So adults are considered experts in their language, and children need to have interaction with these experts because adults provide a number of supports here. So recasting. So adults can help a child to restructure their inaccurate speech to their correct form. So adults can help children with things like subject-verb agreement, with understanding atypical expressions in language that don't follow the standard grammatical rules. They can also provide things that are called expansions. So elaborating on children's speech. So for example, if you're reading a book with a child, you can use the pictures that are in the book to create a richer story that includes more flowery descriptions, more complex language than what the child would be using ordinarily. So elaborating on the speech to increase the complexity of the speech, and these things are related to language development in young children.